you're new, I'm Jen. If you're new, I'm Jen. If you've been before, welcome, one and all, to my quest to crush aggressive diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, DLBCL, stage 4. And we're using the immunotherapy, chemotherapy, R-EPOCH to crush non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Let's get into it. I'm deciding if I should give you a title for my thoughts or start with the quote and then work backwards. Let's start with the quote. Here we go. I'm going to flash it up on the screen. It's another one that I pulled off of Instagram. I think now that they know that I'm looking for quotes, everybody's sending them to me. Instagram, Facebook, even in my Google feed. 100 motivational quotes. I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for, but okay. All right, so here we go. What if you wake up someday and you're 65 or 75 and you never got your memoir or novel written, or you didn't go swimming in warm pools and oceans all those years because your thighs were jiggly and you had a nice big comfortable tummy, or you were just so strung out on perfectionism and people-pleasing that you forgot to have a big juicy creative life of imagination and radical silliness and staring off into space like when you were a kid. It's going to break your heart. Don't let this happen. Anne Lamont. As you can see, I pulled this off of Ariana Huff's Instagram, and she said, or as my mother would say, don't miss the moment, which kind of goes back to me and my thoughts about every day is a gift and you need to live it, and we need to live our best life every day, whatever that means for that day. So my thought for today is living my best life while undergoing chemo treatment. So was today a great day? No. Did I do okay? Yeah, this was pretty tolerable. I made it through the day. Nothing spectacular. I'm definitely feeling poisoned. But as far as my chemo symptoms, which we'll get into much later, you can check the jump around menu if you want to see exactly when. There's really nothing remarkable. No new symptoms. My symptoms haven't started to flare. They might come back tomorrow, or they might be back in a few days. My experience thus far is that day 5, the cytoxin knocks me on my butt. But this medication, because it's dripping at such a slow rate, does make me feel bad. And I think the mouth sores will start soon, and I'll probably start magic mouthwash tonight to preventatively. But and someone else recommended sucking on ice cubes, which I thought was interesting. I hadn't heard that before, but I have heard that technique. Like some people wear like this ice cap to prevent their hair from falling out, and others, somebody else said that they did it for, on their hands to prevent the neuropathy. And this is my logic. I don't know if it's good logic or bad logic, but I'm being treated for a blood cancer, right? Lymphoma is essentially a blood lymphatic system cancer. And I thought that if I did one of those procedures or approaches where you use the ice to prevent, basically you're preventing the chemo from going there. You slow it down so much that the chemo doesn't want to go there because it's not fast growing anymore, right? I thought, well, wouldn't that be a kick in the pants if I went through all this chemo and I did this methodology to prevent the neuropathy or prevent my hair loss, and then either we didn't get rid of the chemo, or there was just, with the cancer, or there was just a few little baby cells that were enough to regenerate themselves. And in X months, I have to go through this all over again because I used that ice method to prevent the neuropathy or keep my hair. So I've shied away from it. Now, I think it many people say it works. I've seen a lot of videos and reviews on it. And maybe if you're treating a cancer that has not, hasn't moved out of its area. I don't know how else to say that. With stage 4, right? We know that my lymphoma not only was in the lymphatic system, and lymphoma is obviously a blood cancer, which means it's everywhere. So if you had, like, for example, my breast cancer was limited to my breasts, and my ovarian cancer was limited to my ovaries, although there was some spillage at the time that they took it out of my body. So that made it problematic. But in those cases, maybe this is an option where it's an early stage and it's contained within whatever organ, because then I don't really have a risk that there's cancer cells someplace near my hair or my brain or any place where That, that would be catastrophic if you left the cells there, if you went through all that treatment and then you left some cells. And that's why I kind of shy away from it. But in the mouth case, oh, man, I really digressed. The mouth case where you suck on ice cubes, I think for the sores, that might not be such a horrible thing, right? Because this is the reason why I'm getting the sores and chemo tongue and chemo mouth has to do more with, how do I articulate this correctly? More with the fact that there's fast-growing cells and the chemo is killing my ability to regenerate, right? So the ice might help keep the cells I have until my body starts regenerating in a week or two, and greatly diminish that experience. So it's worth a try. I didn't try it today, but maybe I will try it later or tomorrow. And I will definitely do my magic mouthwash before bed. All right, so that was off on quite a challenge. But really where I wanted to go was everyone. And I think in the quote, you kind of get the feeling. But there was many years, and I'm sure I speak for a lot of people, where I didn't want to take pictures with my family because I didn't care for what I looked like. I don't know, if the hair was yucky or I just felt too fat or too skinny or whatever it was. And then I came to realize, no, I want those pictures with my family however I look, because I'm capturing the moment, right? I can look back on that time. And wouldn't it be a shame, like a real shame, crying shame, literally, if you're gone and your family has nothing to look back on to remember, beyond your kind of cruddy memory, right? All those things we did. So yes, I did wear a bathing suit when we were in Hawaii some years back, and I was in family photos, and was I a little jiggly? Yes, absolutely. But is that a picture of my family that I cherish, right? Or maybe, I don't think I can find them tonight, but maybe another day I'll show you some of our Hawaii pictures. It was a great trip. And we're about making memories because tomorrow's not guaranteed. It's about living our best life with our family. And so that quote really spoke to me. And today, where it was not by itself a good day, was still a pretty good day. All right, so let's keep going. How am I today? I'm tired but good, I think. That's my general. I don't have the same level of energy that I had. I did spend a fair amount of time resting. I slept in the chair while I was getting chemo today, or my immunotherapy today, quite a few times. Dozed in and out. I did come home and I slept some more. But, otherwise, pretty good. I have been managing. The nausea has not been overwhelming. Been eating little bits. Pulled out my root beer barrels, all my tricks. Been drinking as much as I can tolerate. So, thumbs up there. All right, so good but tired is how I am. My angel deliveries, I'm going to share a picture right here over me, was my ride to and from chemo. So here's a little video clip of the ride in. And I like this one. I thought it was particularly poignant because we were coming up to a road sign that said to go left or to go right. And I was like, well, can we skip chemo or do we have to go to chemo? That's what I was thinking as we were driving up on it. And then here's a little selfie with Sam while we were stopped, because he was my chauffeur today. He drove me to and from. And the reason why I need a ride today is because of the heavy dose of Benadryl that they give me, which is not heavier than taking the pill, quite honestly. But they do give it by IV, so I think it hits you a little faster. And that's my story. So that's my angel delivery. Thank you, Sam, for the rides. Okay, on to doctor news. So chemo, the center was crazy today. First, they asked me to come in later, so I came in at 10 instead of 9 or 9:30, which I had been doing. And it was crazy. Like, every chair was filled. I mean, I got a chair, but then within half an hour, all the chairs were filled, which is a lot of people. I hadn't seen it like that before. And then eventually people started to leave again, but it was crazy. I'm just saying that. I think I didn't really count them, but I think there's 16 to 20 chairs or so across this fairly massive room. I think I mentioned before that the chairs are separated by more than 6 feet, probably 8 feet. What else? I did not ask for the Neulasta Onpro because those nurses were running their tushies off, and I felt like I shouldn't add something else to their list. Okay, so let me share another screen. I did get my CBC labs today, and they also pulled more, so I'll have probably more lab results in a few days to share with you. But for today, let's look at the white counts and all the blood counts. So my white count was at the low end of normal, a 6.1. You can see here the range is 5 to 10, so that is low. The last time I was 6.2, and that was the Wednesday after Cytoxin. And if I recall correctly, the day I had done the blood work twice, Tuesday and Wednesday. On Tuesday, I was 6.7 and I came down to 6.2. So the worry here is that it's going to come down into the 5s with this chemo that I'm on. When I go for the Cytoxin, I think it's going to tank me under 5. That's my suspicion. But, then I'm going to go the next day for the shot, and that'll push me back up. What else? The hemoglobin is down a little bit at 10.8. I think they consider normal to be 12 to 16. I think I've mentioned before, Bill's normal is up to 11, usually. Even though men are typically higher. If I was a man, the range would be 13 to 15, I think. But because he's on dialysis, they want it a little lower. So I don't think anybody's upset with my 10.8. In 7 to 9, 7 to 8, 6 to 8, that's dangerously low. That's when you need a transfusion. So right now I'm not anywhere close to that. The platelets are within the normal range, so that's good too. So those are the highlights. Certainly I had this up long enough. If you're interested, you could see the other data there. I'm not going to talk about it. All right, what other things can I tell you about? Well, I did, they give you saline to kind of push the chemo back in, or I had immunotherapy today, Rituxan, but they give you a saline bag to push that in so it's not, you don't lose any of the treatment, and they just use very little bit. They just drip it. And so I was like, can I just get the rest of that bag, please? So I did stay an extra half an hour today, but I got an extra 250 cc's. Which I'll talk about tomorrow when I start calculating all my ins and outs with the IV. So remember, all the data I'm sharing with you here is from yesterday as far as the ins and outs and that stuff. So here we go. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Oh, there was one more thing, which kind of is back to the daily thoughts that I just wanted to share with you very, very quickly. Another patient got up to go to the bathroom, and as she walked by me, she's like, "You look beautiful." Now, I'm wearing a mask. This is all she can see. I was like, "Oh, thank you." And she kept going. And then when she came back, she chatted with me. She was kind of catty-cornered away from me, maybe 10 to 15 feet away. She's like, "Do you always not wear a hat?" And I was like, no. And I had, I'm not wearing it right now, but I had the Mobius wrap that I could wear as a hood, which I wear. I typically wear hats outside, A, to protect me from the sun, and B, it's still a little too breezy with no hair to be outside. So I was like, no, I wear it when I'm outside or whatever, or wraps or hats or whatever. But I typically don't wear hair. I'm like, I have some wigs from the last time, but it's not really doing it for me, and I haven't made the effort to buy new wigs. It's my head. I'm good with it. And she says, "You're so beautiful and you're so brave. I want to do that, but I'm scared." All right. I was taken with it. And then she took her wrap off to show me. She's like, "I have these spots that are growing, but mostly not." I'm like, "Well, some of mine's growing." I mean, she was close to me. She saw, I'm like, "I actually buzz it every so often." She's like, "You don't just let the stuff that grows grow?" I'm like, "Well, when they stop the chemo, they stop killing the hair, then yes, I will stop buzzing for sure. But right now there's nothing gained to have, a couple. It would look pretty yucky. I'd rather appear to be bald, or sparse than to try and have, a few long hairs. There's not enough hair even for comb overs, so it is what it is. That's who I am right now. To me, it helps me look in the mirror to have the eyelashes on and to draw on the brows. Will I do that every day? No. But also, during the pandemic, I didn't put on makeup every day. So to me, this is putting on my face, just like I would put on makeup. But, it was very nice of her to say something. And then I had a different chair today. I wasn't looking at the room. I guess I'll share that later in the to-do list. But I took a picture of what I could see and a picture of me in the chair. And so then I kind of tried to turn around in the chair and look. And what I saw was there was no one there except for this woman that was wearing a head wrap and me with no hair, obviously. But then I looked a little closer and there were several people wearing wigs. So it was interesting that so many felt the need to wear the wig, but I could see that. The last time I did wear the wig, and I think I've already shared with you that my kids, particularly, they didn't care at home, but when I went out, they wanted me to look more normal, with their friends. And I did. And this time everybody said, "You want to be bald, Mom? You be bald." And I was like, "Okay, I will. Thanks for the permission." And I might wear the wig. I'm not sure. But right now I still get super hot. And it's so much easier to whip a hat off than to say, "Oh, I'm hot," and take off your hair. You can't really put your hair on and off because you got to do it in front of a mirror and stuff. So it's either on or it's off. And then once you take it off, what do you do with it? It's like this, it's not something you can stick in your pocket like a hat. So right now I think I'm not inclined to wear the wig, but we'll see. Maybe. I didn't look up how to wash them and get them back in shape, so I can do that. And also, I believe that I have insurance benefits for a wig, so I might look into it. And maybe the technology is much better now, so maybe I could get a wig now, that might be more comfortable and all those other things. So I can look into that, but it's not a high priority for me by any stretch. And maybe it's something that I would be more interested in when I finish treatment. All right, so let's see. Okay, to-do list. Here we go. Chemo. So let me share these pictures. This is a picture of me. And this is a picture of my view today. I did focus on hydration today, so I did a good job. I already tallied up the IV fluids. So some of these fluids, most of them actually, because I already told you I only got 250 in just fluid and saline. The rest of it was mixed with medication. So when they give you the medication, it's always mixed in some amount of saline or dextrose. So these were all saline. I had 1.2 liters today, just an IV. But that's not for the data I'm giving you. You'll hear about that tomorrow. So where I was going was I've done a good job on hydration today. Already orally, I'm over 80, and I still have some more to drink. And then plus I had the 1.2 that came in through IV. So hydration's been good. All right, so let's get today. That's ta-da. Okay. Hydrate. Doing a good job today. And then rest. I think I've already shared with you I did rest. So thumbs up. And the last thing I did today was get to know my new phone a little better, but I still have a lot to learn. I'll say that. I'm still kind of hacking around, but I'll get there. All right, so my to-do list is I have a robotics call first thing, and I think it's going to go most of the time that we have slotted. We just found out that, well, I don't know if we should say we just found out, but we just realized / found out that the student's interview will be in a week. So we need to make sure they're prepared in totality. So we're working on that right now. Obviously, I'm going to be doing chemo for the next 4 days since it's attached to me. So chemo, but I don't have to go anywhere. Focus on hydration because that is my new game plan. And rest. I also would like to put together, and I don't know if I'll do this tonight before I go to bed or do it in the morning, but I've run out of my pre-made Oatmeal Plus or Porridge Plus. I like Porridge Plus. It has nice alliteration. So I'm going to try to do that. That'll be on my must-do list. And then what I would love to do is edit the video by phone. And I might even try this one. We'll see. I'd like to crochet, but that's on the list of maybe not. We'll see. I suspect I may be tired after robotics. And load the dishwasher. Again, I hope that I can do that, but if I can't, I will be directing the boys. All right, that's my story for today. So if you just came for the story, thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you tomorrow. And now we're going to do a lightning round for daily symptoms and statistics since we went so long. because I'm jabbering like a madwoman. All right, here we go. Nausea, no. Mouth pain, no. Teeth pain, no. Throat pain, no. Weight is up a smidge, X6.05. Fluid in was 120 ounces, which is 3.5 liters, and fluid out was 3.05 liters. Little disparity there, but nothing too crazy. That's within the... I can live with that. Sleep was 6 hours and 21 minutes overnight, and I had an additional nap of 1 hour and 3 minutes. Plus, I think I mentioned already that I had several times when I was dozing in and out that didn't get calculated. So my total is 7 hours and 24 minutes right now, but again, there's some more in there that didn't really get counted. My movement was 9,600 steps. That will not happen today. Plus restorative poses. My vitals were fine, even at the doctor's office. So that was good news. Neuropathy, just a bit. Hair loss, status quo. Skin, status quo. Nose clots, no. Night sweats, no. Headache, no. Fatigue, yeah, it's starting. Red skin, no. And chemo brain, no. Oops, forgot to talk about charity miles. We have 16 folks still. Great job. If you're interested in joining our team, the link's down below. And cumulatively, we made 556 miles. Way to go, team. Sorry I didn't talk about that earlier. So, I just wanted to conclude. If you are watching this video and you are a cancer patient, please be your beautiful self, whatever that is. If you want to wear a wig, wear a wig. If you want to be bald, be bald. If you want to always cover up and you're comfortable with that, do that. But don't be ashamed. You're you, and you're totally lovable however you are. Be you. All right. Love you guys. Thank you for your love and support. As always, very, very helpful. Helps me get through these days. Love you. Remember, every day is a gift. Live it. Oh. Thanks for coming today. We'll see you tomorrow.